Hello everyone, it's been a while since my last upload. School just let out, so I'm in the clear to start making videos again. Too many things have popped up in the last month for me to make full videos on, so I'm gonna try to cram them all into this one video. Random bullshit number 2, anime edition, let's go. School letting up wasn't the only conclusion for me in the last month. 2 big things came to a conclusion that I really want to talk about, and something new also popped up. I don't exactly remember the release date on what came first, so I'm just gonna go with what I think came first. So, the Wano arc in the One Piece anime finally came to a close. Let's talk about it. This isn't going to be some sort of very intricately detailed deep dive on the whole arc. This is just gonna be my initial thoughts on what I think the arc did good, did bad, what I think could have gone differently, but overall, it's just my overall opinion on this newest arc of One Piece. Now, was the Wano arc in One Piece peak fiction? Was it the best storytelling that I've ever heard in anime? Was it the best arc in One Piece so far? Honestly, no. But it was pretty damn good. It was fun and exciting, but at the same time, I couldn't help but feel that Wano just felt really bloated. I mean, in the anime, Wano was split up into 2 acts, but those are 2 fucking massive acts. Like, Jesus Christ, like, in the middle of, like, Act 1, I completely forgot that it was just Act 1, and then when Act 2 started, I was like, are you serious? Like, Act 2 is gonna be just as long as this, but if not longer, and then it turned out that it is just as long, and, like, just densely packed with a lot of shit. Like, it was long, okay? And I know this is an anime-only problem about the pacing in the anime, but yeah, I mean, I'm talking about the anime, so I really can't not complain about this. Yeah, there are some episodes where it honestly feels like not much happened, but barely progressed the story. Like, there were multiple times where I was like, okay, can we just, like, wrap this up soon or wrap it up? Because it just felt like things just dragged on for, like, 5 episodes longer than it honestly should have. But was it boring? Were there at any points that I honestly thought that we can, like, completely skip over this or something? No, there was never a point where I honestly felt bored or just completely dull to, like, whatever was happening on screen. There were moments where I felt like it was sluggish at times, or like I just kind of wanted to get to the next thing quicker, but this is One Piece, that's not gonna happen. Things are going to take their time whether I like it or not. And is it me, or did this arc feel like it had way more flashbacks than any other arc? Maybe, like, it didn't have more, but those flashbacks lasted way longer. Like, all the things with Oden, how the show would just constantly show you flashbacks about how good he was, how much he meant to everyone, and then all the flashbacks with Momonosuke about how when he first got his dragon powers. It just repeated a lot of things at you when it was completely impossible for you to forget about this. Like, it would show you, like, things about how Luffy, when they go into, like, that one village that can't help but to smile all the time, and it would, like, show you how awful it is over there over and over again. Yeah. It just had, like, a lot of flashbacks where I feel like it was kind of unnecessary, or, like, we already get the point. You get what I mean? Even though Wano, in my opinion, did feel very bloated, it very much did stick the landing. I would say it definitely has one of the better endings of, like, any other arc. Not only was the final battle in Onigashima absolutely a fucking spectacle to watch, goofy at times and just incredibly fun, but the battle with Gear 5 Luffy and Kaido and everyone else, it was absolutely amazing to watch. And like I said, this arc felt very conclusive. There was no loose ends at the end that needed to be tied up. Everything felt nicely packaged. Everyone kind of had, like, a happy ending. Wano felt saved. Everyone felt happy that the Straw Hats had everything. The whole banquet scene where everyone partied at the end. Everything just felt conclusive. Seriously, the last couple episodes of the arc were literally about them just saying goodbye to everyone. Everyone, like, having, like, their fair say to the Straw Hats, like, genuinely just saying, oh, thank you for saving our country and shit. Momonosuke personally saying thank you to Luffy when he said goodbye, and Luffy saying goodbye to Law and Kid, even though now their alliance is broken, they're now back to being rivals. And it was just kind of fun seeing Luffy just have, like, a funny dick measuring contest with how they decided to leave Wano. How, oh wow, none of them are gonna take the easy way. They're all just gonna fall off the island. Because that's what the real king of the pirates do. They're never gonna take the easy way out. They're always gonna go for the more exciting, adventurous, hard route. Overall, Wano was a good arc, but personally, it's not my favorite out of every single One Piece arc. For me, that still goes for Marineford. But Wano is definitely like one of the better ones. It's definitely not like a boring arc that's gonna be forgotten soon. So I would honestly say a 7.5 out of 10. Now, the next conclusive thing on my list. The Attack on Titan final chapter or final whatever. Okay, I actually have not watched it yet, mainly because I am a dub-only watcher, but I know it has ended for everyone else, but for me, I'm still waiting on for the dub to come out on Toonami to watch it. I know I'm kind of holding myself back for not watching it, but hey, I have watched it dub all of my life, and that's the only way I have been watching it, so I'm just gonna wait for it to come out. I'm not so much gonna talk about how Attack on Titan ends, I'm really more just gonna talk about the journey of watching Attack on Titan from like, when did I start watching Attack on Titan? Oh yeah, I started watching Attack on Titan when I just started high school. Like I was literally a kid, and now I'm like a young adult, honestly just finishing this chapter of my life, and I feel like I'm the only one who feels that way. Attack on Titan to me really felt like one of those shows that grew up alongside with me. When the show first started, Eren, Armin, and Mikasa, they're all kids, and I was a kid at the same time when I started watching it. And you get to see them not just grow as characters, but like physically grow also. They don't just stay stagnant as like their kid form for like the whole show. No, you see them actually grow and become adults. And now that I am roughly around the same age as them, it really feels, I don't know, it's really hard to explain, but you really feel like there was like a weird connection there with you, some characters from a TV show. It really feels genuine. Things weren't genuine in that sort of way either. The show was just incredible. And like, it was a straight up bombshell when it first came out. It was like inescapable. It was everywhere. And then when season 2 came around, it kind of died down a bit because it was less action-y based and more about like the politics. But then when season 3 came out, season 3 part 1, like everyone was so fucking hyped up for that. It's like that was like insane. Like it was like a resurgence of everything. And now because like the weird scheduling release on having season 3 part 2 and then the final chapter part 1 part 2 and then part 2 and 1 of the final chapter, like it's just a mess. We can all agree on that. But if we just take a look at it objectively, the show is a modern masterpiece. I'm not the only one who's saying that. There are some other people that are just straight up saying, yup, Attack on Titan will go down as history as like a modern classic. In anime, there are very few shows that come to the same level of success as Attack on Titan. Like, it didn't just blow past like every single cult following in anime. Dude, it actually became mainstream at some point. Like every single convention, like early on, everyone was cosplaying an Attack on Titan character. They all dressed up in that same green cape with the Survey Corps symbol. Attack on Titan had all the spin-offs, like all the merch. It even had, a couple shitty live action adaptations, but the fact that it had that in the first place, dude, it was everywhere. And it really is a strange feeling putting this chapter of my life to a close. Because Attack on Titan, for me, it did take up a big chunk of my early childhood life. Attack on Titan wasn't my favorite show at the time, but it was a big part of it. And it is just weird having the feeling that you grew up alongside with it, and now it's going to end soon when I watch that final episode. I honestly don't know how I'm going to feel when I finally watch that final episode of Attack on Titan. Now, the last thing that I have on my list, we're no longer talking about things including, we're actually talking about something new that came up recently. I was actually lucky enough to be able to watch that new Studio Ghibli film, The Boy and the Heron, in theaters. I'm not the biggest fan of Studio Ghibli films. I haven't watched many. The only other film that I have watched is Spirited Away. I know that's such like a normie thing to say, that the only other Studio Ghibli film that you've watched is Spirited Away, but hey, that's the reality. I never really gone out of my way to watch any of his films. I actually got excited when I heard that some big name Hollywood actors are going to be voicing in this film. Like Willem Dafoe, Robert Pattinson, Christian Bale, Mark Hamill, and Dave Bautista of all people were going to be in it. So when I heard that those names were going to be voicing, I was like, okay, let's see what this film's about. And also my little brother and his friends really wanted to watch it, so I just tagged along. And so what did I think of this new movie? It was mid. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. Nah, I'm just kidding. There are a few things I want to say about this film. I feel like with Studio Ghibli films, you either like them or you don't. And I'm the latter. I don't like, even with Spirited Away. I feel like I just got overhyped, expecting something. I don't really know what, but I don't know. I just didn't vibe with it. And with this one, it didn't really feel no difference. I mean, the story is linear. Okay, let's spoilers ahead. I never watched the trailers. I just heard that a new Studio Ghibli film came out and it's in theater, so I watched it, and I didn't watch any of the trailers. So let's spoilers ahead for what I'm about to talk about. So the plot is about like a kid's mother dies in a fire that he tries to save but can't because he's a kid. And then it's about like him moving on and then having like a new mother because his father remarries. And of course, like whimsical, mystical things happen where like a heron, a gray crane or whatever, tells him that, hey, your mother's not dead. She's actually in this other dimension thing and that you have to save her. And in Studio Ghibli fashion, he goes off on like an adventure, learns some lessons, and then comes back. But like in the journey, I feel like there's like a lot of like visual storytelling that is just going over my head because I just don't know it. Like he meets like multiple types of like, not villages, but like types of like whimsical people. How like there are these things called the Wada Wada, which look like little cute marshmallow people, and that they eat fish that this woman takes care of. And I feel like there's like a story there, but it goes by brief and they don't really dwell on it, which is okay, but it's like, okay. And then there are these talking cranes that eat the Wada Wada, and they're kind of made out to be like a villain, but they're not. That's just what they do. And then they kind of dimension hop where they go through like a door and then meet this kingdom of parakeets, and there's a king, and he kind of wants to rule the parakeet world because he's not really a king. Yeah, like a lot of things happen that just kind of get glossed over, and I feel like that's my problem with Studio Ghibli films, that it throws a lot of things at you that you're not really supposed to delve into, but it's like I can't help but go, wait, what was that? And yeah, I feel like I need like more than just one watching of this. I feel like it's like one of those movies where you need to watch an explained video afterwards to get everything. So yeah, The Boy and the Heron was a film that I watched. I feel like I can't give it a rating because I feel like I missed a lot, but I feel like at the same time I probably didn't. So yeah, it was a film that I watched. So yeah, that's about everything I wanted to talk about. A lot of things came up in the last month, and now that school has finally let up, I can now focus on uploading more consistently, so be excited for that. As always, like and subscribe, leave a comment, and as always, thanks for watching.